Imagine this. You wake up one morning, the sun streaming through your window, the birds chirping outside, and everything seems normal. But then your phone buzzes. It's not a text from a friend or a reminder about a meeting. No, this is different. The screen lights up with a single message. You have 24 hours to spend 1 trillion. If you fail, the money disappears. If you succeed, the world changes forever. Your heart skips a beat. $1 trillion. That's a number so large it feels imaginary. It's more money than most countries' GDPs. It's more than the net worth of the richest people on Earth combined. And now, it's yours, but only for 24 hours. What do you do? Where do you even start? This isn't just a story about money. It's a story about time, about choices, and about the weight of responsibility. Because with great wealth comes great power, and with great power comes the question, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? So, let's begin. The clock is ticking. You grab your phone and check the time. 7:03 a.m. You have until 7:03 tomorrow morning. Your mind races. $1 trillion. That's $41.6 billion an hour. $694 million a minute. $11.5 million every second. You can't waste a single moment. First, you think big. Really big. You could buy entire companies. Countries even. But no, this isn't about hoarding power or assets. This is about making a difference. You think about the world's problems. Poverty, hunger, climate change, disease. $1 trillion could solve, or at least alleviate, so many of these issues. But how? You start with the basics. Food. There are over 800 million people in the world who don't have enough to eat. You could buy enough food to feed them all for years. But how do you distribute it? You need infrastructure, logistics, partnerships. Time is your enemy here. You can't build systems in a day. So, you pivot. Next, you think about water. Over 2 billion people lack access to clean drinking water. You could fund the construction of wells, desalination plants, and water purification systems. But again, the clock is ticking. You need solutions that can be implemented now. Then it hits you. Debt. Not your debt, the world's debt. Millions of people are trapped in cycles of poverty because of student loans, medical bills, and predatory lending. You could wipe it all out. Every single dollar. Imagine the relief, the freedom, the opportunities that would create. You pull out your laptop and start transferring funds. $100 billion to erase student debt in the US. Another $50 billion to eliminate medical debt worldwide. $200 billion to forgive small business loans in developing countries. The numbers are staggering, but so is the impact. But you're not done. Not even close. You think about education. Knowledge is power, but it's not equally distributed. You allocate $150 billion to build schools in underserved communities, train teachers, and provide free online education platforms. You want every child, no matter where they're born, to have access to quality education. Then there's healthcare. You set aside $200 billion to fund research for cures to diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, and HIV. You invest in vaccines for malaria and tuberculosis, diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries. You fund free clinics and mobile health units to reach remote areas. But what about the planet? Climate change is the defining crisis of our time. You dedicate $300 billion to renewable energy projects, solar farms, wind turbines, and geothermal plants. You fund reforestation efforts and technologies to capture carbon from the atmosphere. You invest in sustainable agriculture to ensure we can feed the growing population without destroying the earth. And then you think about the future. Space. exploration, innovation. You allocate 50 billion to space research, hoping to unlock the mysteries of the universe and perhaps find a new home for humanity among the stars. By now, you've spent 1.05 trillion. You've overshot your budget, but you don't care. This is too important. You've changed the world, or at least set it on a new path. But as you look at the clock, you realize something. You've only spent the money. You haven't spent yourself. And that's when it hits you. The true cost of this challenge isn't the money. It's the time, the energy, the emotional toll. You've been so focused on the numbers that you've forgotten about the people, the faces behind the statistics, the lives you're trying to change. You think about the single mother working 3 jobs to pay off her student loans, the child walking miles to fetch dirty water for her family, the scientist working tirelessly to find a cure for cancer. These are the people you're fighting for, and they deserve more than just money. They deserve your attention, your empathy, your love. So, you make one final decision. You take the remaining 50 billion, the money you didn't even know you had, and you give it away. Not to organizations or governments, but to individuals. You set up a global fund where people can apply for grants to pursue their dreams. Start a business, go back to school, create art, build a community. You want to empower people to write their own stories, not just be characters in yours. And then, it's over. The clock strikes 7:03 a.m. The money is gone. But the impact, that's just beginning. So what did we learn from this? That money is powerful, yes, but it's not everything. It's a tool, a means to an end. The real value lies in what we do with it, and why. This story isn't just about spending $1 trillion. It's about the choices we make, the priorities we set, and the legacy we leave behind. It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, no matter how much or how little we have. So, I'll leave you with this. If you had 24 hours to spend 1 trillion, what would you do? But more importantly, if you had 24 hours to spend your time, your energy, your love, what would you do? Because in the end, that's the real currency, and it's one we all have in abundance. Thank you for listening. And remember, the clock is always ticking. What will you do with your time? If you had just 24 hours and $1 trillion, what would you do? Drop your answer in the comments. Can you come up with a game-changing idea to reshape the world? Share your thoughts in the comments. Spread this challenge by sharing the video with your friends. For more thought-provoking stories, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon